First of all, welcome to Yoga Between Two Ferns. My name is Arielle. Thanks for coming. And I sent out a newsletter yesterday, and in it I shared a survey. And I'm still waiting for some responses back. But by and large, people like Vinyasa yoga and intermediate yoga, and you want strength and conditioning exercises. So we're going to do all of that today. We're calling it intermediate yoga, and what I consider intermediate yoga is you've had some experience, so you know the names of postures, you can be familiar with transitions, you can find that connection with breath and movement, and also the mindfulness piece has hopefully begun. Hey, welcome, welcome. So in intermediate yoga today, we're going to use a block or something of the sort, and the conditioning that I'd like to work towards is strengthening the adductors. So it's going to look like this eventually, but the idea is, if I can squeeze my legs to the midline and pretend that I have one pair of legs instead of two, I often say, imagine one leg is holding up the other leg, then you can find that strength that comes from within, and it'll give you stability. So bringing all of you together to the midline, and it'll also give you strength and support as we move towards back bends today. So instead of letting the knees splay wide when we back bend, letting the legs hug together, and from there drawing the strength up the midline. And for those of you who practice with me in the studio, you know I like having you use the block between the thighs to help with inversions. So if you think about having the strength between the thighs, the legs holding each other up, and then you start working towards your handstands, the idea is you can squeeze that block, and then the feet just find each other up ahead. All right, so maybe that's your goal one day. Maybe it's not, but either way, if you're human on planet Earth and you need to work with the laws of gravity, the idea of hugging to the midline is going to help. So with that in mind, you can grab your blocks and set them up kind of like how I have over here, one on either side of my mat. Because we're actually going to start lying down and stretching the inner thighs. So lying on your back, have your feet together and your knees wide, bound angle pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. And then I'm going to play some music here, and we're just going to lay back and listen. So you can have your blocks underneath your thighs if you like, feet together, knees wide. The arms can be long, or you can have one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And we will be here for about 3 minutes. So if it gets a little intense on your inner thighs, you could prop up your blocks a little higher. You can also just get out of the pose. It's all good. All right, so thank you for joining me. Take a nice long breath in through your nose. Smooth exhale out of your mouth, let it go. We'll do 2 more of those. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. Laying on your back, feet together, knees wide. Take a moment to arrive.
Darling, darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate. Darling, darling, you're beautiful. You gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. The sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate. Will get much better. Darling, darling, you can make it through the stormy weather. Darling, keep your head up. Darling, darling, remember days will get much better. Darling, darling, you can make it through the stormy weather. Darling, darling, please don't ever give up. Darling, darling, you gotta keep your head up.
Gradually begin to deepen your breaths. Letting go of whatever happened before this in-breath. And like you're starting your day all over again, take a long stretch. Reach your arms up over your head. Extend your toes long down below. Flex and point the toes. Reach through your fingertips. Get long and wake up. Now take a deep breath in as you stretch from edge to edge. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Give yourself some love today, darling. Give yourself the support you need, the hug you need. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then a few breaths in a happy baby. Widen through your knees. Hold on to your inner thighs or the inner feet. Imagine your feet could stand on the ceiling. They're parallel to the sky. And as you pull down on the heels, the knees come wide by your sides. Feel free to rock side to side, pulling down on one heel more than the other. And stretching through the inner thighs if you like, lengthening one leg at a time. Knowing that the inner thighs will be our focus today, strengthening the adductors, which is part of your core. So go ahead and bring your knees together. Use those adductors, your inner thighs. Try to keep the knees together as you hold onto the back of your thighs. Pump your legs the same way you do on a swing. Rock yourself up into a seat and see if you can balance on your sitting bones here in boat pose. So the shins are floating parallel to the floor. Hands behind the thighs for now. Roll your shoulders back and down. Now feel those big toes push together, and if you have a block, place it between your upper inner thighs. Now the block is just a tool for your mind to think, don't drop the block, and your body will activate the inner thighs that we need. So imagine one leg is holding up the other leg, and you could release your hands. Arms fly just alongside the shins. Now continue that midline strength up through the shoulder blades. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. And then see if you can hug the navel in towards the spine on your next exhale. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Now on your next in-breath, bring your knees closer to your chest. Exhale, get low. Hover your heels and hover your shoulder blades. Squeeze that block. Inhale, come back up, rise. Do that again. Squeeze the block to go back down into low boat. Squeeze the block to come back up, high boat. Good, 3 more of those. Exhale, get low. Inhale, get high. 2 more to go. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Inhale, come back up. 1 more, get low, breathe out. Inhale, come all the way up. Now we'll add some side body strengthening. Lean over onto your right hip and then reach your hands in the opposite direction, over to the left. Exhale here. Now breathe in, come through center, and then go the other way. Leaning onto your left hip, reach your hands to the right. Side to side. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean onto your right hip, reach hands to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, left hip, hands to the right. Breathe in. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center, to the left. Breathe in, to the right. Inhale, to the left. 1 more time. Squeeze that block. Let one leg support the other leg, and you just think, don't drop that block. Exhale, lean onto the left hip. Now come on back to center. Breathe in. Hold on to your thighs and gently lie your spine down on the ground. Keep the bend in your knees. Place your feet on the floor and extend your arms by your sides. Press your head into your mat.
Scoop your shoulders down your back. Exhale, everything up. Inhale, pulse your hips up to the sky. Find a bridge pose. And then exhale, bring your hips back down towards the floor. All right, 4 more of those. Squeeze the block, lift your hips up. Exhale, the hips back onto the mat. Last 3, keep your big toes pushing into the ground. Feel that inner line of energy all the way up through your legs. Last 2, curling your tailbone up, up, up. Exhale, take it down. 1 more pulse. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower the hips. Now this time lift and hold. Lift your hips up off the ground, and you can use your hands to push the floor down. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back, that same rhomboid engagement. And then option to interlace your fingers together here. Check in. Can you feel your big toes on the floor? Push them down a little more. Squeeze into that block, or narrow your knees if you don't have one. And then feel your tailbone lengthen towards your knees so you open the front of your waistband. And 1 more. Big lift in the hips. Breathe in. Exhale, release your hands, relax your back, lower onto your mat. Remove that block that's between your thighs, and then come back into that happy baby or just rock side to side. Feel the residual effect in your inner thighs, your adductors. That's great. That's what we want. Just seal that awareness in your body memory. And then you're just going to imagine you had a block between your thighs as we move through our practice. Gather your knees again. Hold onto the back of your thighs. Pump your legs forward and back. This time, once you rock up, crisscross your shins and come onto hands and knees. Finding your tabletop. Wrists beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. Now, find the back bend in your spine. Breathe in, lift your chin, sway your chest, cow pose. Exhale, rounding your spine, press down, cat. Now do that again. Imagine you had that block between your thighs as you lift your tail. So the inner thigh spiral back. Exhale, draw your tailbone towards the earth. Imagine the inner thigh spiraling in, forward. Good, 2 more. Inhale, open your throat. Exhale, curl. Feel your shoulders squeeze together on your back. On that in-breath, retract the rhomboids. And then exhale, press. All right, now bring your knees together. Inhale, stretch your right toes back behind you. Float them in line with your hip. Exhale, bring right knee to nose. Shoulders stay where they are. Inhale, press it back. Right toes reaching behind you. Exhale, curl in, knee to nose touch. Inhale, lengthen your right hamstring. Exhale, curl in. Breathe in, strengthen your right hamstring. Exhale, curl in. 1 more time, extend the right leg back behind you. Now bring knee to nose and just hold it there as you inhale. Step your right foot forward between your thumbs. Stack right knee over ankle. Hands can stay on the blocks or the floor. Now just look up, breathe in. Exhale, shift your hips back, lengthen your right leg, half splits. Inhale, return to your lunge. Bend the right knee, shift your hips forward, look forward. Exhale, shift your hips back, lengthen your right leg. 3 more. Inhale, pulse into your lunge. Exhale, pulse into your half splits. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1 more time, coming forward, knee over ankle. Now shifting back, hold it like that. Walk your hands back, put them under your shoulders. Press your heel through the ground, reach out through your crown, and then fold a little farther down. Lengthening and breathing into that right hamstring. 2 more rounds. All right, now come forward into your lunge with the right knee over the ankle. This time lift your arms up over your head. Open the elbows wide, shoulders squeeze together on your back. Imagine you had a block between your inner thighs. Now place your left hand on your upper back. Grab onto your left elbow with your right hand and give your left arm a tricep stretch. Feel your right big toes stay grounded. Imagine you still had a block so the inner thighs are active, and then slowly lean over to the right. So from the grounded left knee to the lifted left elbow, breathe into that whole space. Take 1 more breath. Awesome. Come back up to center. Reach your arms overhead. Inhale. Let your hands land on the floor. Weave your right leg through your arms. Extend your right leg back behind you. Inhale. And then bring the right knee down next to the left knee. Other side. Inhale. Left leg extends back behind you. Exhale. Touch your nose with your knee. Inhale. Press back through your tippy toes. Exhale, curl in, navel to spine. 3 more times. Inhale, strong hamstring. Exhale, strong abdominals. Last 2. Inhale, reach. Exhale, coil. 1 more, press it back. Exhale, knee to nose, hover and hold. Create space between you and your mat so you can slide your heel forward between your hands. Then we'll keep the hands down on the blocks of the ground. Roll your shoulders back, look up. Exhale, shift your hips back, lengthen your left leg. Inhale, shift your hips forward, bend your left knee. Exhale, shift back, lengthen. Inhale, shift forward, bend. Last 3, exhale, half splits. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, press it back. 1 more, inhale to lunge. Now exhale as you lengthen and hold, half splits. So the right knee is underneath the right hip. 2 hands underneath armpits. Long through the left leg the best you can. It's all right if there's a bend. Just breathe into the hamstring, soften in. Now find that length in your spine on your in-breath. Walk your hands forward, stacking your left knee over your ankle, and then reach your arms up over your head. Inhale. Relax your shoulders down your back, opening your elbows wide like a cactus. Now lifting the front of the waistband, take the right hand to your upper back. Hold onto your right elbow with your left hand. Weave your right elbow behind your head, more or less. And then grounding into the left big toe, take a breath in, and then lean over to your left. Exhale. Keep breathing into the right side of your waist. Active through the left toes, spread them wide, root them down. 1 more round. Inhale, reach up overhead with both hands. Exhale, take your hands to the ground. Now weave your left leg back behind you. This time, put your left foot on the floor with your leg straight and match it with the right, high plank. We'll be here for a few breaths, so check out your hands. Spread out your fingers so you have a lot of surface area holding you up. And then try to put the majority of your weight in the ball mounds of your hands so you don't dump into the wrists. From the ball mounds rooting down, lift up through the upper back, round. Feel the squeeze in your knees. Imagine you had a block between your thighs. Drawing the navel in. 1 more breath here. Exhale, go slow as you lower to the floor. Roll your shoulders back and down. Hug your elbows in. Descend slowly with control. When you land, untuck your toes. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Inhale, start to lift your head, your heart, and then hover your hands off the floor. Feel your shoulders squeeze together on your back, and then use that to help you lift just a little more on your next in-breath. Awesome. Relax your forehead to the mat. Just take a breath. Let it go. And repeat that. Keep your toes on the floor. Lift your hands, your heart, and your head. This time the hands slide back just a few inches. Put them on your mat by your ribs. And then inhale, lift your ribs. Lift your hips. Lift your thighs. Keep that imaginary block squeezed between your thighs. And then feel the pinky toenail spiral to the ground. Open up your heart. 1 more breath. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Lift your hips. Hug your belly button in. I invite you to bend your knees here in downward facing dog so you can focus on lengthening your spine. Lift up through your tailbone. Hug in with your bottom ribs. And then spiral your triceps towards the floor. Imagine the armpits can gather up and into the shoulder joint. And then, of course, like you had a block between your thighs, hug to the midline. Take 1 more breath in. Now as you exhale, walk your hands backwards towards your feet. And if you have a block that you find on the way there, go ahead and grab it and place it between your upper inner thighs. Staying in your fold, keep a bend in your knees, and then just grab opposite elbows, sway side to side. Now I hope you find that when you activate your inner thighs, you feel a little more stable here. So you can lean your hips forward and bring more weight into your toes. Enjoy 1 more breath. Relax the back of your neck. And then dangle your arms down as you round your spine, roll up to standing, keeping that block between your upper inner thighs. And if you don't have a block, you can grab the ball you found, any other prop, or just pretend. Yeah, keep the feet hips width apart, but imagine there's something to hold between your legs. Then relax your arms down, palms facing forward, breathe out. Inhale, circle your arms wide, all the way up over your head, look up. Exhale, draw your hands together in front of your chest. Close the eyes for a moment, just take a breath. Let it go. Now gaze down at your fingertips. Inhale, watch your prayer rise up over your head. Exhale, fold forward. Feel free to bend your knees. Squeeze that block the whole way down. Inhale as you glide your hands up your shins. Reach your crown forward, so a halfway lift. And then exhale as you fold just a little deeper in, chin to chest. Exhale. Coming all the way up, reverse your swan dive. Squeeze that block and squeeze your shoulders on your back as you reach up. Hands into the heart, exhale. Good, try that again. Don't drop the block. Inhale, extend your prayer up overhead. Exhale, lead with your heart as you dive in. Feel free to bend your knees. Inhale to extend halfway up, shoulders on your back, ribs hug in. Exhale, folding in, lean your hips forward. Come all the way up. Inhale, rise, arms wide. Squeeze that block the whole time. Exhale, hands to heart. Now do it again, but build on it this time. Inhale, reach up overhead. Squeeze that block or imaginary block as you fold in. Halfway lift, breathe in. This time, let your hands touch the floor and then walk your hands forward into plank pose. I'll meet you in high plank. Squeeze that block, shoulders over wrists, spread through your fingers, breathe in. Now a tricep push-up. Hug your elbows in as you lower down halfway. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Flip the tops of your feet onto the floor. Keep hovering the block as you lift your heart and your head. Hover the hips, squeeze the block, one more breath. Good, exhale, downward facing dog. Now remember, you could bend your knees in dog pose. Keep hugging to the midline and we'll test this theory. Keep your right hand where it is. Reach your left hand for the outer right shin. So underneath your torso, grabbing onto the outer right shin, look underneath your right arm. And if things get a little wobbly, grip into that block a little bit more. Push down through the ball mount of your right hand, one more breath. Cool, and then we switch. Left hand to the mat, right hand reaches underneath your body for the outer left shin. Then strong in that left palm, push the ground away, look under the left arm, and then squeeze the block and neutralize the hips. One more breath. Awesome, right hand to the mat at the top. Settle in, exhaling. All right, now lift your heels, come high onto your tippy toes, look up. Exhale as you bend your knees a lot and just pause here. See if you can add a little bounce in your knees. Look at your hands. Keep your arms steady. And then use the power of your legs, your quads, to jump off the floor. Keep squeezing the block and then hop to the top. Hi-ya! When you get there, lengthen your spine halfway up, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, coming all the way up, arms go wide, squeeze that block, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Pause, keep hugging to the midline. We're gonna practice doing our sun salutation with the block between the thighs. Remember, if you don't have the block, pretend you do. Or if you have the block and you wish you didn't, you could take it out and pretend you had it there instead. Start with an exhale, release any expectations. Inhale, reach your prayer up over your head. Exhale, squeeze the block, fold forward. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale to lengthen halfway up. Exhale, plant your palms, float the feet back, plank to chaturanga. Imagine you're in roller skates as you guide your feet back, elbows bend 90 degrees. Inhale, pull to the tops of your feet, pull your heart forward, and then downward facing dog. Exhale, we'll be here for 3 breaths. Check out your toes, spread them wide. Press through the ball mounds of your feet. Grip into that block and imagine you can move it towards the wall behind you, behind your thighs, spiraling the legs inward. Now we're gonna practice that transition to the top. Remember, all you gotta do is not drop the block. Inhale, lift your heels, look up. Exhale, bend your knees a lot. Don't drop the block, hop it up. Feet hips width apart. halfway lift. When you get there, inhale, fold forward, exhale. Coming all the way up, squeezing the block will help you rise with ease, with grace. Hands to the heart, elbows wide. We'll try that again. Inhale, prayer to the sky. Squeeze the block, dive in, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen, halfway up. Now hands to the mat. You can shuffle the feet back, or like you're wearing roller skates, weight in the palms, glide the feet back, land in chaturanga. Don't drop the block. Inhale, lift your heart, up dog. Exhale, lift your hips, downward dog. Now put all that technique in place that we did the last time we were here. If you're having some success transitioning from downward dog to the top of your mat, this time I want you to think about springing your legs straight the moment your feet leave the floor. Ready? Inhale, lift your heels, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, keep gripping that block, spring the legs straight once the feet leave the mat, and then pike to the top. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale to rise, squeeze that block, reach for the sky. Hands to the heart, exhale, elbows wide. One more. Inhale, reach up over your head. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step or float like you're wearing roller skates. Land with bent elbows. Inhale, pull your chest forward through your arms. Exhale, use those lower abdominals to lift your hips, downward dog. Take your 3 breaths here. And then you'll have the option to jump to the top with straight legs and trying to keep this 90-degree angle in your hips for as long as you can. So hips over wrists is the goal. Exhale first. Inhale, lift your heels, look up. Bend your knees a lot. Keep that pike in your hips. Spring your legs straight, hop to the top. Halfway rise when you get there. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Breathe. Release your arms by your sides, exhaling. Good. Now come into chair pose. Inhale, sit low. Exhale, sit a little deeper. Reaching just a little longer as you inhale. Sitting just a little deeper as you exhale. Now inhale. Twist your right hand back. Breathe out. Inhale, both hands forward in front of your shoulders. Left hand back, exhale. Take it center, breathe in. Twist to your right, breathe out. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. One more round, get a little deeper with your legs. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, take it back. To the left, exhale. Inhale to center. Sit a little deeper in your legs. Now come up to standing, reach your arms up over your head. Take your elbows wide, do a standing back bend. Now especially when we back bend, we want to use the inner thigh muscles. Squeeze that block, lengthen your tailbone towards the floor, shoulders supporting you on your back. One more breath. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, folding forward. Now you can remove that block from between your legs. Inhale to lengthen halfway. Exhale, hands to mat, step or float it back. Plank to chaturanga. Imagine you still had that block to squeeze. And suddenly, everything feels a little lighter. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now go ahead and stretch your right leg up into the sky. Bend your right knee, open up your hips, inner thighs. One more deep breath. Inhale to straighten out your right leg. Exhale, bring right knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, big kick, 3-legged dog. Exhale, curl in, touch your nose. One more time, heel strike the sky. Exhale, big step forward. Keep that back heel lifted as you rise up, high lunge. Pause, grounding into the big toe of the front foot. Imagine you had that block between your legs. Get a little longer from hips to fingertips. Good. Good, and then exhale, hover the left knee, open your elbows wide, cactus arms. Inhale, re-extend your left leg, arms to the sky. Just 3 more of these. Exhale, get low with the left knee, shoulders pinch. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, get low. Inhale, get high. Now get low into that low version of your lunge. Keep your right thigh bone parallel. Lengthen your left leg. And then start to lean your heart forward as you fly your airplane wings back behind you. Feel the shoulders squeeze. Imagine you had a block between your thighs. Now looking forward, shift all the weight onto your right foot and lift your left foot off the ground. Warrior 3. Now if you can spiral that inner left thigh up and imagine the block activation, you'll find a little easier time balancing. Now that your left hip is parallel to your right hip, lengthen your tailbone, and maybe the arms come up overhead. 3 more breaths. 2, 1. Nice. Bring the left toes back into the lunge, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to the earth. Inhale, lengthen your right leg back, 3-limbed plank pose. Exhale, bend your elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. 3. Nice work. Take another breath. Let it go. And then we'll stretch that left leg to the sky. Open through the hips, bending your knee. Add a knee circle. Just breathe into the inseam of your stretchy pants. Okay. Straighten out your left leg, inhaling. Exhale, left knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, press back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, touch your nose, navel in. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, big step through. Back heel stays lifted, arms up overhead. Ground into the left big toe, strong in the right leg. Inhale. Open the elbows, hover the right knee, lengthen the tailbone. Inhale, reach up overhead, right leg long. Exhale, get low. Inhale, re-extend, press back through your right heel, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, tailbone towards the earth, gets down a little lower. Inhale, reach up. Okay, now get low. Keep that left thigh bone more or less parallel. Press back through your right heel, and then lengthen your heart forward as your arms reach back. So you feel like you're flying here. Spread out through the left toes. Create a lot of surface area to hold you as you push off your right leg and find warrior 3. If your right toes are looking open to the right, you're making it harder on yourself to balance. The right hip is going to be level with the left hip when you spin the right toes in. And then you can explore lengthening your arms up overhead. 3 more. 2, 1. Awesome. Tuck the back toes, high lunge, inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, left foot back, 3-limbed plank. Exhale, 3-limbed chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can also choose child's pose at any point. Just take a few breaths. Spiral those inner thighs back. Last 2. 1 more. Okay, now start the same way. We'll just add on. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, touch your nose 1 time with your knee. Inhale, re-extend, 3-legged dog. Exhale, big step through, right foot between the thumbs. Strong inner thighs help you rise up, high lunge. Exhale, open the elbows wide, hover the left knee just an inch above the floor. Inhale, re-extend arms to the sky. Now lean your heart forward, warrior 3. Arms swing back behind you, lift the left toes. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Awesome, come back, tuck the back toes, arms up overhead, high lunge. This time turn your heart open to the left, ground your left heel, arms wide, warrior 2. Now we get to stretch the inner right thigh, so keep pushing that right knee open. See if your left hand can reach back a little bit to stack your ribs over your hips. Gaze over your right hand. Deepen the bend in the right knee. Take 2 more breaths. Bring your arms up over your head like goalposts. Hold on to that right wrist with your left hand. Get a little longer from your right hip to your right hand, and then lean back over towards the left. Now as you pull back, bend the right shin farther forward. Good. Come back up to center with goalpost arms by your ears. And then keeping that, start to lean forward. So extended side angle pose. Draw the left ribs back. Now you can stay like this. You can also take your right forearm to your right thigh. You can also take the right hand a little closer to the floor on a block or the mat. Guide the right knee open. Draw the right sitting bone under. 3 more. 2. Last breath. Now look down towards the ground. Bring your left hand onto your left hip. We're coming into half moon. Look forward. Walk your right hand forward. If you have a block, you could bring it with you. Lift the left foot up off the floor and line up your heel in the same line as your hip and armpit. Keep pressing down with the right big toe. Use the inner thigh. An option to bend the lifted leg, the left knee, and reach back for your foot with your left hand. Open up the front of your waistband. Keep grounding through the right big toe. Turn your eyes up. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Re-extend your leg, your arm. Breathe in. Coming back to the warrior 2. Bending the right knee. Step the left foot behind you. Inhale. Rise. Exhale. Windmill your hands down. Framing the right foot. Inhale. Lengthen plank or 3-limbed plank. Exhale. Choose your chaturanga or skip it. We'll always meet in downward dog. Yay. Hi, Arielle. Exhale to get there. Take a nice long breath in. Smooth breath out. 2 more rounds. All right, let's build the other side. Inhale, stretch your left leg to the sky. Exhale, tap your nose with your knee, navel to spine. Inhale, re-extend left leg to the sky. Exhale, slide your heel between your hands. Strong inner thighs, rise up, high lunge. Open up your elbows, hover your right knee an inch above the earth. Inhale, re-extend through your right leg, arms up overhead. Lean your heart forward, fly your airplane wings behind you, and lift your right leg. 1 long breath. Good. Coming back into the high lunge, tucking the right toes, arms up overhead. Spin your right heel to the mat, open your arms wide, warrior 2. Adjust your stance. I'm just gonna turn around so I can see you. You have that left knee over your ankle, and that right hand is reaching for the back of the room. Breathing into the inner left thigh. Check in with those shoulder blades, squeeze them on your back, and add a little extra tone to your arms by adding a little micro bend. Good. And then we'll take the arms up overhead like goalposts. Then you're gonna hold on to that left wrist with your right hand, breathe in, and then lean back towards the right, towards the back leg. So you're pulling your hands back, the left shin is being pulled forward. 1 more breath. Awesome, come back up to center, goalpost arms, and then lean forward, side angle variation. So you can keep the arms by the ears, and then use your transverse abdominals to pivot the right ribs back, or the left elbow gets a little lower to the thigh, or hand towards the mat. Now you know what's coming next. So consider the more you deepen the lunge, the easier the transition will be. Also, the more you lengthen, the more you can sustain this alignment as you move into this more challenging variation, half moon. When you're ready, right hand to the hip to begin. Look down, walk your left hand forward, and lift your right foot up off the ground. Now try to make the pinky toe edge of that right foot parallel to the ceiling so that internal rotation still. Press down with your left big toe and pull the right hip open. And then choose if you want to bend the top leg or reach back for your foot, right hand or right foot. Little bend in the standing leg always, long in the tail. Maybe the eyes turn up. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Release for the half moon. Exhale, warrior 2. Breathe in to arrive. Exhale, take your hands to the earth. Inhale, lengthen, 3-limbed plank perhaps. Cycle through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Nice long breath in. Smooth breath out. Take 2 more rounds. And then we'll move through that sequence and add on 1 more time. Start with an exhale, let it go. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Exhale, touch your knee to your nose 1 time. Inhale, big kick, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step your foot between your thumbs. Inhale, reach overhead, high lunge. Open up your elbows, hover the left knee. Inhale, reach for the ceiling. Exhale, lean your heart forward, fly your airplane wings, warrior 3. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Inhale, high lunge, tuck the left toes, arms overhead. Warrior 2, on the breath out. Reversing the warrior, lean back, breathe in. On the breath out, choose side ankle pose or half moon. 1 breath out, exhale, 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 exhale. Coming back to the warrior 2, ground the back foot, inhale to lift your chest. And then we're gonna twist, so spiral your left hand all the way down to the ground inside of your right foot. Spin your back heel off the floor so you can push down with that left hand and reach up with the right, even more. Hug the right hip back. Send the right knee over ankle. Awesome, 1 more, standing pose here, the revolved half moon. Take your right hand to your lower back, walk your left hand forward. Remember, you could bring a block with you. Lift the left foot off the floor. Imagine you had that block, squeeze the inner thighs towards the midline. Absorb the length of your left thigh bone into your hip socket and feel your right hip crease pull back. Keep a bend in the right knee and start to look over your right shoulder. Right arm can reach up or reach back, grabbing the left foot. 3 more deep breaths. Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana, twisted half moon. Nice. Now when you release this time, choose your own adventure. You could take your hands to your mat, handstand, kick it up, and then float it back, or step it back, plank to chaturanga. It's up to you. I'll meet you in dog pose. Let it go. Take 2 more breaths. Last one. All right, other side. Left leg lifts on the in-breath. Exhale, tap your nose, navel in. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, big step through. Strong inner thighs to rise, high lunge. Elbows go wide, hover the right knee, get low in your legs. Inhale, reach up for the sky. Lean your heart forward, fly your airplane wings, warrior 3. Exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Coming back, tuck the right toes, lift your arms up. Open wide, warrior 2, ground the right heel, arms reach. Lean back, reversing the warrior. Now lean forward and choose side angle pose or the half moon. We have 1 breath out. Make it a long one. The in-breath will help you return to warrior 2. Inhale as you rise. And then find the twist. The right hand spirals to the floor, to the inside of the left foot, and then spin your back heel up off the ground. Absorb the length of the right thigh bone here. Pull the left hip back. Feel that twist in your spine, the strength in your legs. Maintain all of that. Left hand to the sacrum, the low back, the Lululemon logo. Right hand walks forward, right foot lifts the floor. Use that adductor strength. Hug to the midline, scissor hug the legs together, and then the left hand can reach up or reach it back for the right toes. Narrow the knees, kick and reach for 3, 2, 1. Now choose your flow. Hands to the mat, handstand or step it back. Remember that feeling like you have a block to squeeze, so the right foot can lift, the left foot lifts, and maybe you lengthen, land. We'll end up in a child's pose this time. Knees wide, big toes touch, hips to heels, forehead to floor. Well done. Just enjoy a few breaths. Meeting yourself again. Scan the body. Witness the breath. Listen to the thoughts. Anything else to let go of? Take another 2 breaths to do that. Now, from your child's pose, just look at your hands. Shift a little more weight into your hands so you can tuck your toes under, and then hover the knees as you bring your hips back. So your shins are just floating off the floor. And I'm gonna have you hop your feet outside of your hands. So little frog hop, and I'm gonna turn towards you. Now imagine you had the block between your thighs, but now you are the block. So squeeze your knees into your torso and then start to reach your hands forward, just like when we were in child's pose. Imagine as you squeeze your knees into your ribs can extend farther forward, farther away from your hips. Squeeze in with the knees, the inner thighs, the adductors. Let your head hang. And just notice how the heels, the big toes, they all ground down when you hug to the midline. Now just look forward. Do a shoulder shrug here. Roll your shoulders up by your ears and then shrug your shoulders back and down. Then imagine your elbow striking like you're in line at the grocery store. Guy's coughing on you next door. You gotta get him out of the way, 6 feet away, buddy. Other side too. Elbow strike either side and take your triceps to meet your shins. Now you keep that inner squeeze of your knees and then the hands come together. Fingertips touch. And just close your eyes for a sec. Feel your hands pushing together. Your knees pushing into your torso. That inner squeeze in the inner thighs. And then that feeling like the belly button's drawing into the spine. Awesome. Now we're just going to try crow pose here, Bakasana. So you're going to keep all of that, just come up onto your tippy toes and shift the weight into your hands. Now you're going to bring your knees closer in, which is going to bring your elbows closer in too. Try to get your elbows to be shoulder distance apart. And then don't look at your feet, look forward. Feel the feet come together. The big toes touch, the inner thighs squeeze, the knees hug in, the elbows hug in, the belly hugs in, the rounding of the spine helps you lift, lift, lift for 3, 2, and if you want to practice your shoot back, you're going to lengthen your arms on your in-breath to give you a little bit more space, and then exhales, you bend your elbows a lot and shoot your feet back, chaturanga. Inhale, coming through up dog. Downward facing dog is where we'll meet. Make your way there. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Nice work. I call crow pose the gateway pose for all arm balances. Once that one makes sense, the other just kind of fall in line. So be all right with where you are at the stage of your inversion practice. It's all good. Take a breath. Let it go. All right, lift your right leg, 3-legged dog. And we'll come into pigeon pose. So the right shin travels forward. Bring your right knee towards your right wrist, your toes towards your left wrist. Now this is where we get to stretch the inner thigh that have been activated this whole time. Breathe in as you lift your heart. And then exhale, walk your hands forward. Stack your hands under your head. Sink into it. Nice long breaths. Witness how when you stop resisting gravity's pull, it makes you flatten down and spread out, just like a puddle. Which is why the technique of hugging to the midline helps us resist that downward pull. Enjoy another breath here. Now start to walk your hands back up. Tuck your left toes under behind you. Lift your right thigh to the sky, 3-legged dog. Now we'll come into a wild thing. Keep your left hand on the floor, spin your right toes to the ground behind you, and then lift up through the hips. Focus on the left shoulder blade rolling down your back. That similar squeeze between the shoulder blades, right arm reach. Push off your right foot so you can flip yourself over to 3-legged dog on your in-breath. Exhale, right foot to the floor. Shift all your weight into it and lift the left. Inhale. Exhale, drive the left shin forward, knee towards the left wrist, toes towards the right. Stretch your right heel back in line with your hip. Walk the hands back, lift the chest, breathe in. Exhale, walk your hands forward, release. If you're feeling any pain or discomfort in your knee while you're in this pose, you can do the same stretch lying on your back. Cross left ankle over right thigh. All right, start to rise. Hands on the earth, right toes tuck at the back of the mat. Thread your left leg through your arms, open the front of your waistband to the side, and then keeping the right hand on the floor, spin your left toes to the ground, turn your heart up towards the sky. One more breath. Press off the left toes, press it back, three-legged dog, inhaling. Both feet on the ground, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Okay. Come forward into a plank pose, breathe in. Exhale, lower your body down onto the ground, hug the elbows in. Have the tops of your feet on the floor when you land. Lengthen your tailbone towards the ground, feel your pubic bone push down. Now inhale, start to lift your head, lift your heart. Hover your hands and reach your hands back towards your thighs. Then hover your legs off the floor. Imagine you had a block to squeeze. The big toes might even touch. Spiral your pinky toes down, and then maybe the bend in the knees happens so you could reach for your feet. Keep narrowing your knees, lengthen your tail. Feel that imaginary block get a squeeze for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. Forehead to floor or cheek. Relax your legs. Sway your heels if you like. Now come up onto your shins. Place your hands onto the floor. You can round your spine like cat pose on the way. Slide the knees in. Then if you have that block, take it between your upper and inner thighs. And we'll practice camel pose. Same rules apply. Squeezing to the midline. Lengthen your tailbone down so you get more length across the low back. And then hands to the low back as you lean your hips forward. Lift your heart. Grip into that block rather than gripping into the glutes. And then maybe the hands travel down the hamstrings and you catch your heels. Don't drop the block. Squeeze to the midline. And maybe the head hangs back on the traps. Start to walk your hands back up your hamstrings, up to your hips. You can remove the block from between your thighs and just sit your hips back on your heels for a breath. Close your eyes. Direct your breath into the low back. Now if you have 2 blocks, you can put both of them by your sides and we'll just practice going from here into a seat. So you can put your hands on your blocks. You can have your blocks whatever height you need. But see if you can lift your hips, lift your shins, and thread your feet through. Have a seat. Then we'll find a seated forward fold. So big toes touch, but the heels separate just a little bit. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Don't worry if you can touch your toes or not a big deal. Hold on to whatever you catch a hold of. Relax your shoulders, lead with your heart. In with your jaw or the back of your neck. See what else you can soften in these last 2 breaths. And just roll yourself back up to a seat. We'll set up for a twist. Take a bend in the right knee and place your right foot outside your left thigh. Right hand behind you. Inhale, left arm reaches up towards the sky. Exhale, hook your elbow and twist towards your right. On On your next breath in, start to unwind your twist and take a brief counter twist to the other side as you exhale. And then coming back to center, switch it up, straighten the right leg, take the left foot outside the right thigh, right arm high, inhale. Twist to your left, exhale. Beautiful. Unwind your spine, breathe in, take a brief counter twist to the other side, breathe out. Now when you come back to center, we'll just take the feet together and the knees wide, similar to how we started, but sit up and then hold on to your feet. Sit up nice and tall. Press your elbows in towards your shins, your heart towards your soles, your crown towards the ground. Breathe in. Let it out. Come back up. Gather the knees together. Hold on to the back of your thighs. Relax down onto the ground. Keep the knees in. Give yourself one more squeeze. Inhaling. Exhale to release. Lengthen your legs. Have your feet as wide as your mat. Lengthen your arms. Hands off the mat. Palms facing up. Press the crown or the back of your head into the ground. Shrug your shoulders away from the ears. Take one more controlled breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. No longer needing to resist gravity's downward pull. Instead, let the earth hold you. Let it lift you up. Let it hold all your fears, your worries. Letting them pour out of your body into the ground, gone for good. Relax your jaw. As long as you need. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. deepen your breaths. Drink in that sweet oxygen and let it fuel your form. Grateful for the ability to breathe today, for your health, and for the ability to practice. Bring life back into the toes and fingers. Eventually stretching your arms long over your head, reaching from edge to edge, waking up yet again. But now, 60 minutes stronger, more mindful, more alive. When you roll to one side, pause there for a few breaths. For no reason at all. Nothing to do. Just be. Enjoy the fruits of your practice. If there's anything else you need to let go of, surrender it here. Rising a bit lighter, coming to your seat. Gathering hands together in front of your heart, bowing inwards. Close your eyes. Acknowledge what it is like to be alive. The sweat, the breath, the heartbeat, the thoughts and feelings. Grateful for that. Take another breath to enjoy. To meet yourself again, exhale. The light in me honors the divine light within you. Thank you very much. Namaste. Again, my name is Arielle. Thank you for joining me today. And if you'd like to fill out the survey, I've added the link into the comments here. Have a lovely rest of your day. See you Friday at noon.